Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our triple threat main event, in the words of Tony Khan, when we have had all of our Phase 1 Pro episodes coming out together, and we have our last guest. We have the one, the only. We got Ramrock here today, everybody.
Man, how is it going, guys? I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me on this episode. And yeah, let's get to it. I'm excited to talk some wrestling.
All right, for one, before we start any of this, you are massive. I'm just gonna say that.
I try, man. I try.
What do you mean you try? You succeed.
It takes a lot of work to be this big, let me tell you.
Damn.
German built engineering, man.
Don't you already made the joke. A minute and 2 seconds in, and he already made the joke.
Yep.
Speeding through that like the Autobahn, my brother. So I got you on that one. So let us know just a little bit about you, Ramrock. Tell us, just explain yourself a little bit.
Sure. So my real name is Rocky Steinmetz. My gimmick name is the Ramrock. I started training back in 2009. I trained at a wrestling school called the Fit Pit Pro Wrestling and Training Center. It was run by Ryan Katz, who is actually one of the producers for NXT in WWE right now. I was trained by Brawlin' Bo Cooper. He actually just retired, I want to say 2 years ago, but he was former XPW champion. Big name in the Southern California region, wrestled for almost 30 years. And we had a very frequent trainer who would come in and help us out, Jesus Rodriguez, or you guys probably know him better as Ricardo Rodriguez, Alberto Del Rio's ring announcer. So got a good mix of lucha, of just character work from Ryan, and of course just the psychology and the fundamentals from Bo Cooper. Again, I've been wrestling since I started in 2009, and I've been wrestling ever since. Outside of the ring, outside of the weekends, I'm an IT guy. So I'm married. I love dogs. I have 3 schnauzers, a giant schnauzer, and 2 minis. So that basically sums the Ramrock up all at once.
Okay, so you said you have a little basis on lucha, so I can expect a 450 when we see you at Phase 1 Pro, June 1st, sellout. Buy your tickets now. I can expect that.
I don't know about a 450, but in my earlier careers, when I was a lot lighter, I used to do a split leg moonsault, maybe a diving spear. So maybe we'll pull out, if needed, we'll pull out something off the top rope, Phase 1 Pro has got some really top of the line talent. So depending on who I'm going up against, I may need to bust out some top rope moves. So we'll see.
So how excited are you to be coming to New Mexico, or have you wrestled before in the past here?
Oh man, you guys have no idea how excited I am to come to New Mexico. I have not wrestled there ever. I've always wanted to. I've driven through it so many times, but I've never had an opportunity to wrestle there. And so, as soon as William hit me up and was like, "Hey, we want you for the show," I was so freaking excited. I went out and I got licensed. I got my blood test. I got everything I needed to do like immediately. I'm so excited to make my debut in New Mexico.
I have so much respect for that you went out and got everything immediately, dude. Honestly.
Well,
oh my God.
I mean, to be fair, so I did do a seminar prior with Gabe Sapolsky, and he said straight up, like, you want to work for WWE? What impresses me more than anything is having your paperwork ready to go. So after that seminar, I went out, I got my blood work, I got all my paperwork, I got everything set up, just in case I got that call to be an extra. And of course, William, hit me up shortly after. I'm like, oh, I've already got all this. Let me give it to you. So I was kind of a little pre-prepared, but I wanted to be on top of that.
Shout out to you. Shout out to Orion. Shout out to Chico Adams. I bet you guys update y'all's resumes all the time, and y'all always have your paperwork. That is something that I will always push for and always stress until the day I have to debut, and then I'm going to forget and be like, oh, yeah, it's fine. But I'm going to stress that because the amount of times that I see on Facebook, or I've had people hit me up or just invent and be like, man, I didn't update this and they came by. Well, that's your fault, dude. I have no idea what to tell you on that. So right. I got a lot of respect for that, brother.
You know, like they're in the business, there's paying dues and there's job requirements. To me, having your paperwork in order is a job requirement. So you should probably be ready to go when asked for it. That's my stance on it. But that's also coming from an old fart who's been around for a long time. Maybe the young guys don't see it that way. I don't know.
Dude, they don't even see social media this way. There's so many things that the new generation doesn't see that I get so angry about. But I'm just the podcast guy, so I don't know what I'm talking about, apparently.
Oh, man.
Born in a different generation, that's all I can say. So,
that's
you know, making your debut, that's going to be something cool. I feel special now that we're going to actually be able to be part of this. We haven't even met you that long and I already feel connected. I'm super excited for you, man. Just the way that you popped up to our little crater in the continental United States.
What I will tell you guys is I promise that I will give everything I got in that ring. So hopefully I will not disappoint y'all. But yeah, every time I go out there, I leave it all in the ring. So I promise you I will give you that.
Yeah, okay. And I've seen a couple of your matches just kind of going through your YouTube and stuff. Can you explain the Downfall Cathedral and the dynamic of your partner?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we were actually paired together at random back in 2020 in an Arizona promotion called Sonoran Championship Wrestling. So actually, it wasn't 2020. It was 2021. I apologize. So basically, they didn't really have anything for me, and they didn't really have anything for him. Now, I was coming off of a little break from pro wrestling. I was gone for a while. And so I was coming back in. Jay Garland, he is the founder, the owner, the proprietor of SCW. He brought me back, and he didn't really have much for me, in terms of singles. And so he said, well, what do you think about this guy? And so, of course, he sent me the link to the Facebook page, and it was none other than my tag team partner, Ryan Riven. And so I was looking at him and I was like, okay, cool. You know, he's got the hair, he's got the tattoos, like maybe this can work. And so literally our very first match, we faced Jay Garland and Pete the Heat Petrocelli. They're known as Cookies and Cream in Arizona. If you're familiar with Arizona Indies, they were one of the biggest tag teams around for a while. And so literally in our debut match, we go against one of the best tag teams Arizona has to offer. And we just had instant chemistry. And from there, we just, we became really, really good friends. And we just decided, you know what, we're going to take this Downfall Cathedral thing and we're going to take it on the road. And basically every single promotion we have wrestled for, we have either been put against their tag team champions or we've become their tag team champions. So we are currently the Motivate Pro Wrestling tag team champions, which is based out of Borger, Texas. Mm-hmm. And we are the Battleground Pro Wrestling tag team champions, which is based out of Northern Colorado, Greeley, Colorado specifically. So actually we're going to be wrestling next July 22nd in at SCP down in Lubbock, Texas. Yep. And so we'll be down there July 20th, still fighting in the West Texas Tag Team Tournament. So that's kind of the long overhaul of Downfall Cathedral and how we became together.
Oh, dude, that's so cool. Oh, that's gonna be a tough one, Chris. We gotta make a choice, either OSW or SCP, because we're only like 3 hours away from either of those cities. So,
oh wow, okay, yeah. Okay. Well, guys, come on down to SCP, man. We'd love to see you.
Give Chris a chop.
So to fill you in, every guest apparently, and I'll do that. Every guest we've had has all said they'll give me a chop, and I've agreed to it. So de facto,
So he
Oof.
so to be fair,
Yeah.
like I want to be a wrestler. I am willing to. I've already gone through initiations. Like my chest has already been hamburger. I'm fine with it. It gives me that happiness. Almost makes me want to cry and not out of pain, just out of the love for the sport. He does not want to do it. He's like, I will be the fan. That is perfectly fine. But I don't even know how it
Absolutely.
started. It
It-
started with Zilla, and Zilla was like, "I'm gonna chop both of y'all," and then I was like, I'm good with it." And then we just slowly went to every person we've ever met or had on this show has been like, "I owe you a chop," and we got to be careful because like he's meeting like 4 people that owe him chops at
yeah.
Phase 1 Pro.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah,
Oh.
your chest is going to be hamburger at Phase 1 Pro on June 1st, huh?
Oh,
Not
Don't worry.
now.
Don't worry. I'll be the one guest that doesn't give you a chop. Let's just put it that way. I do an overhand chop, and it is very painful. So you don't got to worry about it. You're going to pass from me.
Thank you.
I love
I'll take it. I'll take it. I will take it.
Donovan, maybe I'll give you one. We'll see.
I will gladly take that, but it's like we got to turn this into a segment now. The downtime in the
geez,
ring,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
This
who's
is during
getting a
intermission.
chop?
Oh, so brother, like, what are things that, get you going outside of wrestling? Because one thing that we've learned is that these vets who have been doing it for such a long time still have other passions, and we like our audience to know a little bit more about you if that's what you're comfortable with, because you can come on any wrestling podcast and they're going to ask you the same generic 3 questions. Who were your influences? And if you're good researchers like us, we're gonna know that. We're gonna at least try to know that. We're gonna try and learn everything about you. We want the audience to know just what are your hobbies.
Awesome. Yeah, I absolutely love to talk about this. So again, I kind of touched on it a little bit with my introduction, but outside of the professional wrestling business, I've been married for 16 years. So I absolutely love my wife. I try to spend a lot of time with her. Her name's Sarah. So shout out to her when she sees this. Hopefully that'll get me some brownie points.
Shout out to
yeah, she's honestly, I would not have lasted nearly as long. I wouldn't have ever become a professional wrestler if I didn't have the support and the encouragement and the back rubs and the icy hot cleaning the blood off my head sometimes. She's been my biggest fan and my biggest supporter, and honestly the reason why I've been able to wrestle for as long as I have been. But sorry, bunny trail there. Outside of professional wrestling, I am an IT guy, which also means that I'm a nerd. So I absolutely love video games. My favorite video game of all time is Final Fantasy VII. For anybody who knows these fan series, they just made the remakes, and so I've been playing those pretty religiously recently.
Same here. Same here.
Awesome. Heck yes. We have a lot to talk about then, Chris.
Yes.
But so yeah, I love video games. My day job is computers, so I do anything from as simple as hooking up a printer to as complex as setting up a dynamic freaking network and setting all that up. So that's a passion of mine as well. And then I do have 3 dogs, like I said earlier, and I absolutely love them. So I spend a lot of time playing with them, walking them. And besides that, I spend a lot of time in the gym. It's not only a passion of mine, but it's a job requirement to be a professional wrestler. So I'd say that those are probably my biggest hobbies outside of the business.
You are too damn big to work in IT. What the hell, man? Oh my God.
I get told that so many times. You have no idea. They're like, you are not the stereotypical IT guy. So
no, they would no. A stereotypical IT guy looks like this thin. That's not you, dude. That is not you at all. You know what? I respect the Final Fantasy love. I'm not a Final Fantasy guy. I'm the other side of Square Enix. I'm more Kingdom Hearts. Chris is the in between.
I love Kingdom Hearts too, so no hate here, man.
I love anything that Square Enix produces. It's just that, just like in wrestling, how wrestlers are storytellers, Square Enix and certain developers, they're just storytellers, and they know how to like capture the attention, even with the Final Fantasy stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. I mean, I'm a huge nerd for awesome stories, and that's why I love pro wrestling. That's why I love RPGs. So, yep.
So you said you've been just taking your time with Final Fantasy VII.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So Final Fantasy VII. They just did remake, and then Rebirth just came out, and so I'm 147 hours into Rebirth. So I
don't know.
I'm not one of those guys that has to, complete everything, do everything, except when it comes to Final Fantasy. That's the only game that I have to get the platinum. I have to do everything. I have to get every achievement. That's the only one. The rest of them, I get the story and I'm good. So
ultimate weapons, level caps.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. Yep. And Rebirth is a beast. Let me tell you, hard mode is no joke.
It is the amount of mini games in that game is just insane, and they're all diverse enough to keep you going, and so it's insane, especially with the twist. I won't spoil Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but the whole remake series is just a whole twist of everything. It's weird.
It is, but so have you played Cactar Crush yet as Aerith, Chris?
As Aerith, yes, but I'm struggling with Yuffie because I need the dark matters. I need the dark matters.
That is the worst mini game ever. Why, Phoenix? Why?
It is.
It's so bad. Oh my god, I can't believe that. That's a mandatory achievement you have to.
It is.
So
I hate it.
Yeah. I love this so much. We don't get to really nerd out as much on this show, surprisingly. So just getting to hear you guys
all day,
just hearing you guys pop over this, it makes my heart happy. We don't get to do this a whole lot, man.
The piano, like I showed you the piano clips of everyone playing like DMX on the piano and stuff. Oh, dude, like when you have a game like that, it's going somewhere.
Oh, for sure, man. Yeah. Well, and that really is like a true throwback to the original, because the original had tons of mini games, So I was really hoping that they were going to do that, and they kept true to it. They not only included all the mini games, but they added a ton of them. So, in my opinion, that of course you're always going to have your haters that's going to be like, "Oh, it's not the original, and they changed so much," and da. That's fine, to each their own. But to me, Square Enix knocked this out of the park. This is a dang perfect game. Like, I love it. I can't wait for part 3. I'm so sad we have to wait 4 years for it.
Oh my god.
That's bad. Call on. Oh my god!
One of the coolest match types.
In a world of wrestling, we bring to you the WSN app, only on Roku.
Yeah, I mean, but hey, 4 years to take time. I mean, you know how it is, Donovan, with Kingdom Hearts.
4 years
takes time for perfection.
It does.
So that's why I always appreciate them.
Some people are saying that, like the maps mostly already done. Like maybe it won't be 4 years, maybe it'll be 2 years, because I think Final Fantasy VII's 30th anniversary is going to be in a couple years, and so they're saying that it might come out then. So we may not have to wait the full 4 years. But yeah, I'm with you for sure. I'd rather have them release a perfect game than release hot garbage and send out a bunch of patches later. So I'm with you there.
Cyberpunk.
Yes, exactly. Cyberpunk.
Exactly.
4 years. My patience could never.
It sucks.
That's why I'm glad Kingdom Hearts went on just a tangent of having a new sub story.
A new decimal point added to their main prime number.
Every 2 years, dude.
2.5, 2.8, 3.2.
Yep.
3658 over 2.
I think that's the only game series that's ever done a 0.5 and a 0.7. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild, man. Leave it to Square Enix to do something like that, though.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. So, going more into this, man, like what really geeks you out more? I just like your passion for this, man. You're not afraid to hide it. So what else are your guilty pleasures when it comes to the world of the nerd?
I mean, like of course I love all things video games, and I would say outside of video games, like I don't really do it so much, but like when I was in high school, I used to play D&D, and like I've been invited to play D&D a couple times, but I don't know, man. I can't really commit to it. That's a huge investment. As much as I would love to play with some of those guys. I used to do that. What else do I nerd out on? I mean, I don't know. Video games is kind of the biggest thing. Like, I never really got into cards and stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with those. And I have gone to a couple anime conventions. I guess that falls under the nerd category. We did just do the Level Up convention where I was wrestling, though. I wrestled. It's 3 days of video games, anime, and there's also professional wrestling through Versus Pro. And so Downfall Cathedral was booked 2 of the 3 days, so we did that. But yeah, I mean, I guess some people would say wrestling even kind of falls in that nerd category too. So yeah, I'd nerd out with wrestling too.
You're too dedicated for D&D.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, like I said, so people have invited me to play, and I would like to join them, but oh my gosh, it's just such a time sink, and I just don't have the time for it.
I bet.
Somebody's like, yeah, my character list, I'm barbarian, and everybody just looks at you at the table, and you're like, oh, so you're this guy? That's it? That's all that you are?
You're the German Dread? Okay, gotcha.
The German Dread, I like it.
Yeah, that's one of my monikers, one of them.
Ooh, so going into your monikers, what is a Ramrock? What are like, explain Ramrock to us.
Awesome. So it's kind of a non-conventional story. When I was training, and I first came in, I think, when you start a professional wrestling school, like the first 3 months is more or less just drills. They just run the crap out of you. They try to make you quit. If you survive those first, at least that's how my school was. You can survive those first 3 months and get through that. Then they're kind of like, okay, this guy's committed. He wants to do this. He's got a passion for it. He's not going to give up. Now we can start talking characters. So the first character that was kind of given to me, and granted, this was back in 2009, 2010. It was still kind of that old school mentality where it's like you didn't really get to pick who your character was. You were kind of told this is who you are, make it work. And so I was always told, don't ever be married to your gimmick. You need to be flexible. So have multiple colors of gear, don't be committed to one thing. And so I kind of had that mentality. And so when we started kind of talking about my character, the first character that was pitched to me was Ramrock Granite, which is basically like an 80s guy with biker shorts and the tassels. And like, that was kind of like my character. And so, I like, of course I'm still in training, so I didn't want to like argue or fight it at all. And so I was just like, yeah, of course, even though I absolutely hated it, I didn't want to do that at all. And so I really just did my best to try to make it work with the promos and everything going through training. And I come in, I'll never forget, I come into training one day and Ryan Katz literally looks at me and he's like, hey, Ramrock, I got this thing where I want you to like do this promo and I want you to run in place and act like you've been jogging all day and this, that. And he could just like see it in my face that I was just like, oh God, no, I don't want to do this anymore. But I'm just like, oh, yes, sir. Of course. Yeah, I'll get it done. And so as soon as I start to walk away, he's like, Rocky, if you don't tell me what you want to do or who you want to be, I'm just going to keep throwing this stuff at you. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. You mean I have a choice? And so that's kind of what started the ball going. And so I kind of started talking. I was like, well, I kind of want to be a heel, and I want to be just like a brute, and I want to use my German heritage, and like, what can we do to kind of put this all together? And so I think it was like a week later, I walk into training, and Ryan looks at me and he goes, Ramrock, how's it going? And I'm like, Ramrock, okay, it kind of sounds like, the first thing that came to my mind was like the Flintstones, like Bam Bam. And so I was like, okay, well, there might be something here. And then he plays my entrance music, and it's like this dark, hardcore, like Viking stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is badass.
Germanic rock.
Yes, it was so good. And so he's like, all right, so I want you to get this. What I want you to do is I want you to get the helmet. I want you to get the horns. Like, he wanted me to be like the Viking character. And of course, back in those days, didn't really have a whole lot of money, and so God bless my wife. She actually made my very first set of horns. And actually, you know what? Here they are. I think she did a fantastic job. But yeah, it's literally made my first set of horns out of paper mache. And so I came out to the ring with this. And that's how the Ramrock was born from there. So you're supposed to keep your gimmick simple in professional wrestling, right? You can't be too complicated, otherwise the fans don't get it. So the Ramrock is a German Viking. That's who I am.
That's going to do a 450, right?
I don't know about all that 450 stuff, Donovan. You keep pushing that, man. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see
it. I want to see it. If I'm paying for a chop, I want it. I need
gotcha.
it.
Okay.
I need it.
That's the exchange right there. A chop. I chop you, then I gotta do a 450.
You chop me, and after I die and come back to life, I get to witness you doing a 450.
Oh man.
That's the only thing I ask. That's my dying wish. No,
gotcha.
It's way more fun, and this may be a little controversial. It's way more fun to talk to a lot of these veterans, and I can speak with Chris on this because you guys are already at the point where you're so humble and you just have more fun talking about your past than your future. It's a lot more fun talking to these veterans that understand the mindset, which is use your social media. We got done with Manny Lemons the other day, and that was one thing I was like, thank you.
Manny is such a true professional. I love that guy so much, man. First time I met him was at Rocky Mountain Pro, and he was just such a consummate professional, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing him again at the show as well.
The Ramrock at Rocky Mountain.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's like this is a dream come true, man. I worked really hard to try to get out to Rocky Mountain Pro, and so when they finally gave me an opportunity, that's definitely one of the more premier promotions out in Colorado. So all you young professional wrestlers, if you're trying to get out there, then if you're trying to make a name for yourself, then you definitely want to get out to Rocky Mountain Pro. It's definitely one of the bigger, more premier wrestling shows.
Yes, definitely. And they do quote unquote TV dates. I mean, they mostly just use Twitch. Am I correct?
They do. But here's the thing is they actually do a full on production. So you're going to walk backstage. You're going to do a production meeting. They're going to ask you, like, for the very first time in my life, they're like, what light colors do you want to have when you make your entrance? I'm like, I get to choose? Oh my gosh. And they go through like, okay, here's the camera, here's the roaming camera, here's the hard camera. Like, you actually do a full-blown production meeting, and they teach you like how to do these things. It is a phenomenal experience. You can get there. Absolutely. If that's the advice that I can tell any of these young wrestlers, anybody who's new trying to make a name for themselves. I mean, the biggest thing, you want to expose yourself, right? You got to get out on bigger platforms. What bigger platform is there than TV? Twitch, your social media, as you guys keep saying, like, these are all, like, especially the social media, these are free platforms. Utilize this stuff. And if you get an opportunity to learn how to do TV, do it. Absolutely.
That's awesome. How much did that throw you off? Them saying like, what color lights do you want? Like, I would have never thought in a million years that would be something that I figured it would just be like mandatory. Okay, yeah, you're coming out your gimmick, you're wearing blue, you're coming out with blue. But no, that threw me off now.
Yeah, it really did. I was just like, holy crap, like I get to actually like pick the colors and everything. And I mean, literally, like when you come out, it's actually on my YouTube in my channel list. But yeah, like you can't share full matches. That's one of the rules. So basically I just put a clip of my entrance, and yeah, it's like legit. It looks like actual TV when you come out to that ring. So it's being asked like what colors you want, like here's where to look, make sure you're working the roaming cam. And the thing is like working TV versus working a standard indie show is very, very different. With TV, if you get 5 minutes, that's a good match. That's a long match for TV time. I mean, especially when we're talking real TV. I mean, because minutes are hundreds of thousands of dollars for the big guys. And so if you got 5 minutes out there, you got to make sure that you show your character and what you can do in those 5 minutes. Versus where an indie show, it's like, I mean, some promoters are pretty strict with the time, but a lot of them are pretty lax. Like, you go 20 minutes, you end up going 25. Who cares, you know? TV, big no, absolutely not. You are going to get yelled at, you're going to get screamed at, and you're probably not going to get invited back if you go over your time. It's better to be under than over.
I can attest to that because I work in advertisement, and they charge by the 30, by the 60 second. By the minute, I'd be surprised if someone has the money to pay for a minute or for an ad. But in regards to television programming, yes, if you go over, it's bad. Even I've gotten flack going over 30 seconds. So they are tough. They are tough.
Yep, they sure are.
So we love shameless plugs on this show. So what is your YouTube channel?
I think it's just youtube.com/rocky.steinmetz. I think that's it. I really should put my actual wrestling gimmick on there. I made that YouTube channel like back when YouTube was first really starting to kind of blow up. I know that kind of shows my age there a little bit, and I'm sure all the viewers and listeners can see all the gray in this beard. Not afraid to show that. But yeah, I probably need to actually update that YouTube and be a little bit more active on the YouTube. I'm mostly an Instagram and a Facebook guy. So
hey, you're an Instagram guy.
My stuff.
Yeah. That's why I gotta give some respect to that. And of course, at the end of the episode, we will have you give out all your stuff on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, dude, you're so chill, man. I was kind of worried because like, and I say this a lot with a lot of like our bigger guests that are just, built. I'm like, oh man, what are we walking into, or what's joining the call? But yeah, no, you're chill, man. This is awesome.
Yeah. It's always funny, right? Because like when I walk backstage, especially with like some like the newer guys, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're working Ramrock over there." They're always so intimidated at first, but then they literally talk to me for like 2 minutes, and it's like all the stress just washes off. They're just like, "Oh, you're just a big old teddy bear. Okay, this is going to be an easy match." And I just tell the guys, like, "Look, just listen to me. I'll talk you through all this. I'll even tell you a joke in the ring, but you can't laugh at it."
That's awesome.
You're one of those guys. I've heard so many stories.
I mean, that's what happened to me. I mean, that's how I was broken, when you're wrestling guys who are better than you, and they're like, all right, and they'll literally try to crack you in the ring. And yeah, I mean, I wish I could say I haven't broke, but I have.
So, going into the latter half of this year, you're making a debut in a state that a lot of people are kind of trying to rush to, because now it's that, I've gotten to be in New Mexico when it was flourishing. What's something else that you want to accomplish by the end of this year?
So by the end of this year, really what I'd like to do is I would like to get that Sonoran Championship Wrestling heavyweight title back. So for anybody who hasn't been following SCW here in Arizona, back in October, man, I literally get to check box one of the things that most professional wrestlers never get to do. one of my biggest dreams was I got to win the heavyweight championship in my hometown, in front of my fans, in front of my family, in front of, people that I grew up with. And literally it was a dream come true for me. I mean, like, I'm a small town guy. I don't live in Phoenix, Arizona. I live up in the White Mountains. There's less than 20,000 people who live up here. And all throughout school, all I've ever wanted to do is be a pro wrestler. And of course, everybody always said, oh, you'll never make it, you'll never make it, you'll never make it. And so having that moment last year to actually get a show up here in my hometown, win the heavyweight title in front of, all these people who used to be my naysayers, it was a dream come true for me. And then literally not 2 weeks later, we do another show in Phoenix, and Pete the Heat cashes in his Castle Cup. And right after I just had a huge match, got the tar beat out of me by Alex Ace, and he beats me for the heavyweight title. I've been trying to get it back ever since. So my goal at the end of this year is I want another rematch against Pete the Heat, and I want to get my SCW championship back.
All right. You know what? Let's come up with a plan. Of course, nobody's going to listen to our plan, right? So let's come up with the plan. Downtime in the ring. We're going to go. We're going to visit. We're going to throw Chris in the ring. He's going to be the distraction. We got this going. Chris, don't cry. It'll be okay, dude. You're not taking a bump. You're not taking a bump.
You're going to distract the Heat Mafia, Chris. I got Pete. You can get the other two guys, man. You just distract them. I've got this.
Comebacks, dude.
I believe in it.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
We got this. We're finally in a championship match. Finally.
Oh man, I mean, one of my biggest goals in before I kind of wrap up my career, which actually let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit here. For the first time, me announcing it, Downtime in the Ring. I'm actually planning on not necessarily retiring, because everybody knows that professional wrestlers really don't ever retire. They all say they're going to, and then they come back 10 million times. But next year is going to be my 15th year in the business. And so, and next October, I'll be 40 years old. And so I am planning on actively slowing down, less travel, less matches, things like that. And so first time I've ever really announced this publicly. But one thing that I really would like to accomplish in my career before I proverbially hang up the boots for good is I want to wrestle overseas. Earlier this year, I was talking with a promoter out in Germany. It's always been my dream to wrestle somewhere overseas, whether it's Germany, anywhere in Europe, of course, Japan. That's where everybody wants to go. I at least want to do it at least one time. And so earlier this year, I was talking with the promoter out of Germany. It seemed like things were getting kind of locked in. And then he deleted his Facebook, and things just kind of got weird. So probably for the best, it didn't work out. Who knows what kind of shady stuff was going on over there. But I'm still pushing to try to get an overseas booking before it's all said and done.
We're locked in, brother. We're gonna try and help you with that. As you can go to the WSN network and actually watch German Wrestling Federation on the WSN network.
I've been looking at them. Absolutely. Been looking at trying to work for them too. Them and Unlimited.
I have no idea how our boss got their footage and partnership, but we can try and see something. I don't know. We're their official podcast. We're their golden child. Let's try. Let's get Ramrock to Germany.
Yes, absolutely. Let's get out there. That would be amazing. That'd be a dream come true for me.
So obviously you're of German heritage. Like, have you ever been to Germany other than, you trying to get booked out there?
No, I actually haven't been. Again, it's always been a dream of mine to go back to the homeland, but things happen, life happens, and but yeah, we're definitely going to get out there at some point in time for sure. I'm not perfect, but I am trying to learn a little bit of German, so I don't have to completely rely on Google Translate the whole time while I'm out there. I have had a couple of close friends that have gone out there, and they've told me stories. They say that the Germans are very, very nice. They can definitely tell when an American is out there and has no idea where they're going or how to ride the buses or anything, and they're usually very helpful. So definitely going to be a culture shock.
I have a family member stationed out in Munich over there, and she says like the food's hefty, very hefty. So I'm like, oh, don't. That's why I want to go to Germany just to see like all the food stuff. I'm a big foodie about that.
Now, one of the things that my buddy told me when he went out there and he stayed out there for like 3 months, they actually do have bratwurst in vending machines. That is not a stereotype. That is legit. He actually sent me a picture. You can go to a vending machine and buy bratwurst out of the vending machines.
My girlfriend's gonna love that. So she's German. She's been wanting to go. The only reason why I want to go is to go on the Autobahn. Like that. That's it. I have no other quarrels. It's just it's never been a place I thought I would ever try and go to until we got together. But I know that'll be one thing she'll love. Is that's so gross, dude. Like I don't know how I would react to that, honestly. I'm trying to think right now.
I mean, it does sound kind of gross, huh?
Like especially for like sightseeing, and like she's like, "Oh, there's a vending machine. I want a snack," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, give me one." She just comes out with 2 bratwursts. I'm gonna
probably uncooked bratwurst too. You're gonna have to go find a grill and go throw it on there real quick.
I will scream. I will scream. I will.
You know it's real when your significant other buys you uncooked bratwurst from a vending machine in Germany.
Oh, here, honey, cook this up. Here's dinner. Oh,
I'm just gonna. I wouldn't know what to do. Honestly, that'd be a real candid moment right there. I don't know what would happen.
Oh man.
Oh,
yep.
So you know what? That's awesome, and I'm glad that we got the exclusive. You know, it does take a lot on your body, and I know your bump card's probably almost up there. So
it is.
What, like, how does that feel? Because they always have that you know that saying that the day you retire is the day that they, which we all know who they are. When you're saying that, who they're alluding to is looking for you. Does that ever worry you or scare you at all?
Yes and no. Obviously, I want to grow old and I want to be able to walk and not be completely crippled. You know, that would be really, really nice. But at the same time, something happens when you. For me, for some, it's when you step between those ropes. For some, it's being backstage. For me, it's when my music hits and I walk through that curtain. I don't know what it is, but that moment is when I become the Ramrock. I'm no longer Rocky, the husband, the IT guy, the nerd. I actually become the Ramrock. And when you're in that moment, it's indescribable. Like nothing hurts. It's just it's the greatest drug, the greatest high, I guess, for lack of a better term, that anybody, in my opinion, anybody can experience. Like nothing compares to that. And it's a feeling that it's really hard to let go of. Like it really is. And so that's why I don't want to like say, oh yeah, next year I'm retiring. You know what I mean? Because I know myself too well. Like if I say that, I'm going to be that guy that's going to just be like, the bug is going to just get me. And it's going to be like, you need to get back out there. Like I love doing this so much. Now, in my early career, yeah, I'll admit it, I worked really stupid. You know, I took a lot of unnecessary risks, a lot of stupid bumps that I'm paying for now. And so as I've gotten older and wiser and learned a lot more, and I've learned that you can still tell a beautiful story. You can still get that pop that you crave. You can still get all those things without having to kill yourself out there. And if there's one thing I can teach any new protege, anybody who's trying to get into this business, is you don't have to go out there and do 10 million flips and bump on the ground to get over. You really don't. And it's something that I wish that even though it was taught to me over and over again, I just never really applied it because I just thought I had to go out there and kill myself for this audience every single time. And so, again, like, I don't ever want to say that, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna retire next year, because I love this so much. You know, it's very hard to describe unless you've been in that ring, unless you've been doing this, unless you have this passion. It's an undescribable feeling. It's just something I really don't ever want to let go of. I know that was kind of long-winded. I hope that answers your question.
I'm gonna cry. That was very heartfelt. I feel that, like, you know, I haven't debuted. Currently not in training just because we're trying to move out there, and so I could do it full time. So
you're gonna go to OTR?
Yes.
Awesome, Donovan. Great school. Gino, all of his students. I have wrestled his students all over Texas, all over basically anywhere. I haven't wrestled a single bad anyone who's bad out of his camp. OTR, huge plug for them. Nothing but respect for anybody who comes out of there. Good for you. Congratulations, man. That's amazing. I'm really proud of you.
He's gonna clip this. I already know. I already know Gino's gonna clip this, but you know, it's taking that first bump, you know, in his ring. I was filming a vlog for the channel when we were trying to just come up with content ideas, and it ended up, the vlog was the end of me just crying and being like, this is awesome. Like, this feeling is so different and unique. And I've been to another school that I won't mention that just was a bad experience, and I was like, this isn't how wrestling should be. I don't know if this is what the business is like, and maybe I don't want to be a part of it. And then I found Gino, and I was like, yeah, this is what the business should be. You should be tough. You should be, you know, it is the way the business is, but he does care, and he does treat his students well. And, you know, it's awesome, and huge plug to OTR. I'm glad that they're going to get the plug for this episode. That's awesome.
Definitely.
But overall, you know, it's good to hear that you've never had a bad match or had a bad experience with any of them. Back onto your career though, it's interesting hearing that, you know, Germany is the thing you want to do on your bucket list, because, you know, having a lot of these vets is like obviously the E or AEW or TNA or Ring of Honor or yada yada or insert place here, but it's not anywhere in the States. It's Germany. And can you elaborate a little bit on that?
I don't know. So Chris Jericho once told a story back in the late 90s where he said that he wrestled in Germany for like a week straight, and it was literally the same audience every single night. And so you couldn't just do your same tricks. Like, we have a thing in the business. I don't know if it's necessarily such a thing anymore, but if you're like an opponent with somebody, it's called like being married in the business. So like if you and I, Donovan, we're going to go and we're going to wrestle each other, and we're going to go to Arizona and wrestle each other. We're going to go to California. We're going to go to Colorado. You and I could literally do the exact same match in every single town, and nobody's going to know any different. And we can just have that same match down packed, and we can just go and do that. But in Germany, it's not like that. In Germany, you can't use your same tricks. You have to constantly mix it up. And for me, what excites me so much is that challenge, you know, having to go out there and mix it up every single time and change your game, change what you're doing in the ring so that you can keep the audience entertained. That's fascinating to me. That's something I would just love to experience. I'd love to go out there and do like 3 or 4 nights and even just train with some of those guys out there and just see what their training regimen is like.
It's that creative obstacle that everyone, regardless of what your passion is, it's that one thing like, well, how can I do this but better and not become so stale? That's something I strive for every time I make a commercial or something like that. It's like, okay, I have a commercial I did for company A that I did last year. How am I going to return to the same commercial and make it better than last year? You know, so.
Yep. Exactly.
Anti WWE loops. That's basically what it is. Because I mean, we all know we all as fans, we all know the WWE live event loops is just them building up towards their pay-per-view match, and each show they throw in maybe something different until it gets to the last live event before the Friday before they go to Saudi Arabia, and we already know kind of where the ending's gonna be. So I didn't know that. I didn't know that story about Jericho. I did not know that. So that's kind of cool. I want to watch more German wrestling now.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's very much similar to American wrestling, but at the same time it's very different. Just watch a few clips from German Championship Wrestling or Unlimited Wrestling or anything like that. It's very unique. It's definitely something that I hope someday I get to experience.
Or the German Wrestling Federation, found on the Wrestling Society Network app. So
that too.
we'll do our even though I say that we're nematodes right now, me and Chris, in the world of wrestling, we'll try to help you any way that we possibly can. You're a brother of the pod now.
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
And we'll try to help you get your heavyweight title back. Chris will fight them. I know he can do it.
All right, you got Capane and AJ. I got Pete, Chris.
All right.
Okay.
That's it.
I have the phone that will record all of this.
Oh yeah.
Make sure we get some good views. And I got the icy hot, Chris. I know you're gonna need it after. I got you, brother.
Yeah.
I got you. Any good food in Arizona? Is there anything good that we could get after this? Huh.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot, anything Mexican restaurants. If you like Mexican food, Arizona is definitely one of the better places for sure. Besides that, I like barbecue. And so I guess growing up in a small town, we don't really have a whole lot of restaurants, but whenever I go down to Phoenix, I always try to go to Texas Roadhouse, which I guess really isn't a culinary genius place, but I love me some Texas Roadhouse. But yeah, anything Mexican food, if that's your kind of thing, they're everywhere down here, and they're all usually really good.
Respectfully, sir, we're brown. We like Mexican food.
Yes, perfect. I love spicy food, so it's perfect.
In Roswell, New Mexico, yep. We're
there, the alien
we get
capital of the world.
Yeah, we get the best of both worlds. People who don't want to be in New Mexico and think that they want to be in Texas, but also hey, we're kind of Texas, so.
So settle this debate for me then, gentlemen. Green chili in New Mexico or green chili in Colorado?
New Mexico.
What's really
New Mexico?
New Mexico.
New
Okay.
Mexico.
New Mexico.
I lean towards New Mexico also, but don't get me wrong. I mean, Colorado's no slouch, but yeah, the green chili.
They ain't a slouch. They've upped their game, but it's. I'm sorry, it's green chili in New Mexico. It's
yep.
It's like you want the original, you don't want the reboot. That's the best way to say it. Unless the reboot, like Final Fantasy VII, adds a bunch of new stuff that now piques my interest about the game after y'all's conversation. But as we begin to wind down, where can everybody catch all your social media?
So again, like I alluded to earlier, I'm big on the Instagram and Facebook. So Instagram.com/Real Ramrock, Facebook.com/Rocky.Steinmetz, and I have my gimmick page, Facebook.com/The Ramrock. Those are probably my two most active. I am on X under the Ramrock as well. I'm not too active on X, so if you shoot me a message, I probably won't get back to you for a month or so. And then I'm, of course, working on my YouTube channel, which is YouTube.com/Rocky.Steinmetz.
Okay. Well, last thing that I'm going to say is that, like you said, next year, you're not going to retire, but you are going to, do less dates. If you ever want to come back and do our live shows where we're just we're 6 people just talking about wrestling and you have some free time, you're more than welcome to, brother. We're down to help you with content no matter what.
I truly appreciate the invite, and I am absolutely going to take you both up on that. I love doing stuff like this, and like anybody who's been a wrestler, whether they want to admit it or not, we all started out as fans, and I have been a fan of professional wrestling since my earliest memories in life, and so I love talking about the business, history, the old stuff, the new stuff, anything in between. So I appreciate that, and I will definitely be in touch with you guys. I'd love to do a live show.
Oh yeah, dude, we have so much fun. We did our live show prediction yesterday for King and Queen of the Ring and Double or Nothing, and yeah, we were roasting one of our co-hosts because she's never seen a Will Ospreay match. And then
no.
And then she was shitting on Whataburger, and that's where I lost it completely.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that episode.
The Will Ospreay thing is okay. That's respectable, just being she's straight WWE, so that makes sense. But then she touched my Whataburger, and I was livid. Oof. I was just like, no.
Every time I go to Texas, like right across the street from the venue. Yes, there we go. Yes, Chris, I love it.
Whataburger sponsor us,
please.
Every single time I go to Texas, man, so SCP wrestles out of Jake's Back Room, which is a bar and grill. They have food, and I haven't actually eaten there, but I've been told it's really, really good. But I'm sorry, man. Right across the street's a Whataburger. That's way faster, way cheaper. That's where I go after almost every single show. So I love me some Whataburger, man.
That's awesome. Okay. Hi, Bree. We got another one. We got a wrestler this time. We got another brother of the Whataburger.
So what's funny is my tag team partner, Ryan Riven, his girlfriend, she loves Whataburger too, but he's like, I don't see what's so great about it. He'll eat it, but he's like, he doesn't think and we're both just like, dude, what's wrong with you, man? This is awesome.
It's dependent because it's dependent. Have you ever had like a green chili double from Whataburger?
I have.
You had. Yeah, mm-hmm. I guess the further east you go, the Whataburgers don't sell that. I'm just like, I was caught dead, just like, oh, you mean a chili cheeseburger? And it's like San Antonio, Texas, or Austin, Texas. It's like, what? What?
Wow, that's kind of like the more north you go, McDonald's don't sell hot and spices. I couldn't believe that. I wrestled in Oregon. Yeah.
Wait, what?
I wrestled in Oregon. Yeah, and I don't eat a whole lot of McDonald's, but when I do, it's usually a McDouble or it's a hot and spicy because they're cheap. And yeah, I ordered a hot and spicy, and they're like, "What's that?" I was like, "It's a freaking hot and spicy." What do you mean you don't have those? Yeah, they don't have them. They don't know what the heck they are up there. They had McDoubles though, so I didn't start.
I feel like that's an alien planet. I don't agree with that at all.
Right?
I don't.
It's a hot and spicy. What else is there you gonna eat at McDonald's, man? Come on.
Okay. Alrighty. Definitely, we're gonna have you on for a live show. I think that your energy fits with all of us, and it could be a lot of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, remember to use the hashtag #TagMeIn in case you guys ever need to vent. You can talk to me, Chris, Bree, anybody part of the Downtime in the Ring team, Paragon. And if you guys just need a vent, just let us know. Just use the hashtag #TagMeIn, private message us. We'll do everything that we can because we care about you guys. And in the world of professional wrestling, this is a tough business. And I know mentally it's just taxing and you guys just need help. And we understand that. Shout out to WSN for making us the official podcast of the Wrestling Society Network app that you guys can find on Roku, Amazon, Fire Stick, Apple TV. You guys can also watch a bunch of brand new independent wrestling that was added on there. RCW, Unlimited Wrestling, Glory Pro Wrestling, and you can catch that I've alluded to a lot because of Ramrock, German Wrestling Federation. Let's see what happens in the future with that. Also, shout out to TZ's Table. We are the sponsor of TZ's Table. We are a good partner to him. We love him. Thank you so much, big guy. Go and pick up your tickets for his album release. There are still limited, and a brand new guest was announced today. Savannah Evans will be going. So you not only have Savannah Evans, you have Marina Shafir, you have Shane Taylor, you probably got a certain guy in AEW. I don't want to say it yet, but I mean it's TZ's birthday. We know that Swerve's gonna be there, but I don't want to say it yet until it's
Also,
fully
I
announced.
want to interject. It's invite only now for his album release.
He's still got a few more tickets. I know that.
Oh.
I know he
So
like barely. Like if you want to get a ticket and you want to go and hang out with all these people, like he's got like barely any left. So go and do all that. And
also, I don't mean to cut you off there, but we'd be ashamed if we didn't plug Phase 1 Pro Wrestling. June 1st, everyone come out, get your tickets. You can get them on Facebook, you can get them online, anywhere. Phase 1 Pro Wrestling. You can see the Ramrock, all the stars of OTR, big time wrestling. Wrestling is coming back in New Mexico. I want to see everybody out there. Phase 1 Pro, baby.
I can't even end the show like he took it there. You also get to see a quick glimpse of Chris getting a chop by Ramrock. So we will see all of y'all in the next video.